Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video we are going to explore about one of the CSS property which is transform, and if you are new here, hit the subscribe button to stay updated on future content. Now let's start the video. Yes, so in transform property we have few other properties which we can see which are listed here. First we have scale. So with the scale what we can do is we can scale up and scale down the component or the tag or whatever card you create, right? That we can do. And if you want to rotate something, that you also do with the rotate property. Then we have translate property. With this we can move the component or move the button or card, whatever you create, that you can move anywhere with the translate property. And then we have skew. With this you can change the shape. Okay, so let's go to VS Code and let's start using this. Yes, as you can see, I have created one file in my CSS folder called transform.html. And as you can see, I have already added some content here. One button I have added. Let's see how I have added that. So there is a div we have created called container, and in that we have a button. Okay. And for this container, we are having few CSS. Let's check on that. So we have display flex property, and we are using this in order to center this particular button. Okay, and we are using height as 100 VH because the initial height will not be full screen. Okay, so that's why I'm getting 100 VH by height property. I have taken that. Then we have applied few CSS on button as well by taking container as the class and the targeting to the button. So we have width and height, and then I have increased the font size as well. And we have background and color. Then border I have made it none because I don't want to get the border over there. And then we have used border radius in order to curve the corners, and then we have used cursor. Okay, so now let's see how we can apply transform property while we are hovering over this button. Okay, we can directly do as well, but if we do on hover, it will be a nice effect we can bring to that button or the component. Okay, so let's check how we can do that. So let's copy this particular class name and the button, and let's say colon hover. This is how we can give a effect or the pseudo class over here. Then what we can do in order to apply transform, we can write transform first, and then let's check the scale property. Okay, so once you do, you can see all the transform properties are listed here. So let's go with the scale first. Okay, or you can directly write it down. It will come like this, and inside this the values. Okay, what value we have to provide, that is the main important thing. Okay, so let's say there will be an initial default value for everything. Okay, whatever you design, the scale value will be default as 1. Okay, whenever you write or you give number between 0 to 1, right, that will be like scaled down. Okay, so it will scale down the component or the button. Okay, let's say button now. So if you give any value between 0 to 1, it will scale down. Okay, but after 1, okay, after 1 whatever you give, it will scale up the component or the button. Okay, so let's try it out. Okay, if I give 1 and try to hover over it, it will not going to give anything because the default value we have is 1. Okay, so let's say 1.5. Okay, let's see what will happen now. So I will hover over it, and now you see it's scale up. Okay, so this is how the scale up property or scale property will work. So let's write out the scale down. Okay, how we can do that. So I'll say 0.5 now. Okay, and hover over it, and you see it's scale down. Okay, so this is how you can apply the scale property to it. And one more thing, if we are doing this, you see this is like instantly coming up and going down, right? So we can apply transition property to button, and it will take some time, okay, to apply that effect. Okay, so I'll say 0.6 second, and let's save it, and let's go back and hover over it, and you see this is the effect you will get now. Okay, with the transition also. So earlier you see if I do like this, it's directly instant one. Okay, so instead we can have transition and we can get this kind of effect. Okay, yes, so we saw how scale property and how we can do scale up and scale down. And let's see a few more properties which we have in this scale, which is scale Y. first. Let's see. So it will do in the vertical direction. Okay, if you apply any value here, it will scale up or scale down in a vertical direction. So let's say 1.5, and let's hover over this, and you see this is coming in the vertical direction. And same thing, if you want in a horizontal way, you can just have to write X, which is capital X, scale X, and it will do like this. Okay, so this kind of thing you can achieve with the scale X and the scale Y. Okay, horizontal and vertical ones. Yes. Now let's check the other property which we have, rotate. Okay. So let's see how we can apply that. So first thing we have to say transform, then we can say rotate, and here you have to provide in degree. Okay, it's not like value. So let's say 45 degree. For that you have to write DEG and then starting its number. Okay. So let's save this and let's go here, and you see it's rotating in a 45 direction. Okay. So if you do in minus, it will go for the other direction. Okay, like this. So this is how you can rotate something with the transform and rotate property. Okay. Yes. So as we saw how we can do rotate property, let's see how we can use translate property. Okay. So translate property is nothing but if you want to move this item to here or somewhere else, you can move with the translate property. Okay. So let's say transform first and then translate. Okay, here you can provide there are two properties which you can provide here. The first one is the left property, and the second one will be the top property. Okay, so right now once you apply transform translate, it will consider the container as the actual box. Okay, it will not going to consider the body as we do in the position, right? The top 0 and left 0, if you say, it will go up over here. Okay, but in this case, the if I do 0 0, it will consider only the container. Okay, not the actual not the uh, body. Okay, so let's see, translate. I will say 20 pixel from left and 100 pixel from top. Okay, let's save this, and if I hover over it, as we have applied on hover, once I hover, then only it will change that. Okay, so now you see it's changing it like this. So it's taking left 100, or like let's just apply over here so we can see it properly. Now you see earlier it was there here, and now it's coming here. Okay, because it's taking 20 pixel from the left side, and from top side it's taking 100 pixel. Okay, that's how it's transforming that. Let's apply it again here, and let's say 20 pixel, and once I hover over it, it will change its position. Okay, now you see like this. And if I remove this, yeah, now it's like working like this. Okay, so it's just that if you want to move something with the transform property and translate property, you can work with that. Okay, if you don't want to use position as well, you can work like you can use this and you can get that done. Okay, that way the translate property will work. Yes. So the last property which we have is skew. So let's see how we can use that. So first thing we have to use transform and then skew. Okay. And here you have to provide how many degrees. Okay. This is also in degrees. You have to provide, I will say 30 degrees, and let's save it. And if I hover over it, it will skew that. Okay. It will change its look or the position, I can say. So see, it will look like this once I hover over it. Okay, if you do in the minus thing, minus degrees, it will go on to the left side. Okay, so similar way we have like x and y properties for this as well. So if I do x and hover over it, it will look like this. Okay, and same thing in the y. Let's say 30 only instead of negative values, and you see it's skewing in the vertical way. Okay, instead of horizontal, it's going vertical. Okay, the by default one will be the x only, so that's why if I change it, nothing is changing. If I use only skew as well, it's not going to change anything. Okay, because the x will be the by default one, but y, if you want only in the vertical direction, if you want to change it, that time you can use the skew y. Okay, so this is how this transform properties will work. So this is about the transform property and all the other properties inside the transform, which is scale, rotate, translate, and skew. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please consider subscribing and hit the like button. and I'll be back with more content in the next video. Thank you.